Welcome to the National Roll Call for the MCTC Veterans Day event. We will be recording names of the MCTC veteran employees, the MCTC veteran families, MCTC students, and Kentucky veterans. Now, I will turn it over to Carla.
Alexander Hersha, faculty. Kevin Willoughby, faculty. Jeff Stevens, staff. Patrick Zimba, faculty. Brandon Perkins, faculty. Christopher Morris, staff. Robert Ham, faculty. Dr. Jerry Napier, faculty. Keith Capps, staff. Nick Wilson, staff. Ed Parker, former faculty. Jody Benson, brother of Lori Sorrell. Raymond Frisbee, maternal grandfather of Lori Sorrell. Lancelot Lawson, great uncle of Lori Sorrell. Dilmond Lawson, great uncle of Lori Sorrell. Stephen Todd, husband of Maggie Todd. James Fight, father of Tammy Fight. Robert Fight, brother of Tammy Fight. George Fight, grandfather of Tammy Fight. Gary Mac Mitchell, nephew of Tammy Fight. Mike Douglas, nephew of Tammy Fight. Mackenzie Bennett, great-nephew of Tammy Fight. Alan Spall-Mason, father of Donna Besant. Lawrence Dole, father of Trish Payne. Mike Dole, brother of Trish Payne. Gerald Butler, father of Jason Butler. Carl D. Hendricks, special friend of Amanda Miley. And James Sapp, uncle of Tina Curtis. And now I will turn it over to Millicent.
Chadwick Thomas Sr., my husband. Cecil Mobley, my stepfather. Raymond Lang, my great uncle. Lawrence Lang, my great uncle. Robert Lang, my great uncle. Richard Lang, my great uncle as well. Renee Chin Lang, that's my great aunt. Russell Lang, my great uncle. Eugene Brooks, my great great uncle. Edward Brooks, my great great uncle. John Brooks, my great uncle. Wayne Davis, my great uncle. Robert Davis, my great uncle. Earl Davis, my great uncle. Jack Davis, my great uncle. Fred Davis, my great uncle. Win Oliver Davis, my great uncle. William Davis, my great uncle. Earl Crutchville, my great great uncle. Robert Berry, my cousin. And also Colonel Charles Young, a Maislick native. Christina Davis Halim, my cousin. Harold Davis, my cousin. Demetrius Davis, my cousin. Juan Davis, my cousin. Lindsay Davis, who is active, my cousin. Clayton Thomas, who is my cousin. Chadwick Fletcher, my cousin. And Scott Brooks, Sr., who is active, my cousin. I will now turn it over to Jennifer.
These are the MCTC student veterans. Joshua Chaffins, Andrick Vance Kendall, Daniel Branham, Ryan Cox, Jacob Patton, Jason Brown, Aaron Marr, Evan Rodas, Jason Connor, Devontia Craycraft, James Mike Perot, Dustin Hayes, Amanda Hill, Cheyenne Johnson, Robert Bradley Taylor, Kayla Ortega, Rual Ortega, Corey Rapato, James Thomas, Abel Williams, Justin Hurst, Jonathan Vivrios, Maisie Hendricks, Clayton Patrick, Megan Fryman, Matthew Tucker, Dalton Gray, Caleb Lewis, Stephen Goff, Gabriel Logan. And now I'll turn it over to Melanie.
Andrew Setters, Byron Schrodell, Levi Oppenheimer, Josh Montgomery, Johnny Brooks, James Dean, Vincent Workman, Felicia Bowling, Jefferson Schaefer, Jeremy Richmond, Michael Williams, Sarah Sims, Robert Beckett, Bevan Samuels, Matthew Hedge, Nicole Monroe, Dorothy Hamilton, James Kaiser, Donald Hopkins, Devin Brumley, Dylan Dunsel, Aaron Rubley, Douglas Cheek, and now I will begin with Kentucky veterans. Darren K. Potter, U.S. Army National Guard, Michael D. Ackland II, U.S. Army, Gary B. Coleman, U.S. Army, Justin A. Scott, U.S. Army, George S. Rentschler, U.S. Army, Nicholas J. Deeriff, U.S. Marine, Sean M. Langley, U.S. Marine. I will now be handing it over to Jerry Napier.
Jeffrey L. Weiner, U.S. Navy. David N. Wimberg, U.S. Marine Reserve. Christopher W. Phelps, U.S. Army. Ronnie D. Williams, U.S. Army. Chase J. Comley, U.S. Marine. John D. Morton, U.S. Army. Jason L. Bishop, U.S. Army. Scott A. Messer, U.S. Army. Justin D. Sims, U.S. Marine. Clinton W. Kubert, U.S. Army National Guard. Clayton L. Adamkavicius, U.S. Army National Guard. Robert W. Eney, U.S. Army. Christopher T. Warndorf, U.S. Marine. Charles J. Jones, U.S. Army National Guard. Garth D. Sizemore, U.S. Army. Theodore M. West, U.S. Army. Thomas P. Eccles, U.S. Marine. Thomas W. Clemens, U.S. Army National Guard. John E. Cooper, U.S. Army. Timothy D. Lewis, U.S. Marine. Joseph H. Cantrell IV, U.S. Army. Joshua M. Moore, U.S. Army. Robert A. Lynch, U.S. Marine. Nicholas R. Carnes, U.S. Army. Brian Gorham, U.S. Army. Jeremy R. Gullett, U.S. Army. Eric D. Terhune, U.S. Marine. William L. McMillan III, U.S. Army. Sergio S. Abad, U.S. Army. Daniel W. Wallace, U.S. National Guard. I will now turn it over to Millicent.
Anthony C. Campbell Jr., U.S. Air Force. Adam J. Ray, U.S. Army. Adam D. Peck, U.S. Marine. Randolph A. Sigley, U.S. Army National Guard. Michael S. Pridham, U.S. Army. Christopher S. Wright, U.S. Army. Colin Thomas, U.S. Navy. Jason D. Kalo, U.S. Marine. Luther W. Rabin Jr., U.S. Army National Guard. Brandon T. Pickering, U.S. Army. Jeremy R. Summers, U.S. Army. Daniel N. Fan, U.S. Air Force. Matthew D. Rowland, U.S. Air Force. Thank you to all for participating and joining us to show our appreciation for our veterans and their service.